Africa Day. For me, I think it should be a day when we are reflecting and measuring what kind of progress we have made as a continent, as a people. It should be a moment when we acknowledge that yes, we have achieved quite much. And also a moment to acknowledge that in spite of all what we have achieved, much is yet to be done. Africa Day should be a day when we turn our hearts to the rising conflicts in the Sahel, the declining and shrinking volumes of the Lake Chad, the increasing deforestation and declining ecosystem and biodiversity in the Congo rainforest, the Gishwati forest, the equatorial forest, the Niger Delta, and of course, the increasingly vulnerable Lake Victoria, Lake Tanganyika, the Blue Nile, and so many of Africa's vital ecosystem resources that this continent actually depend on in some ways. This Africa Day ought to be a day when we think about moving the continent from its stagnations to action, where we reduce a lot of talk for action, where we reduce indolence for diligence. Because silencing the guns, as the theme of this year's Africa Day suggests, will not be by doing nothing and expecting something. It requires that we change our methodology, we rise action, scale more collaborative and cooperative actions that delivers on wider impact, that reduce the vulnerabilities and risk to multi-hazards, disasters, climate risk, violence, food insecurity, poverty, and a lot of the resource violence that are going on across the continent. These violence don't come from the blue. They come from the decisions and inactions that we have taken in one way or the other. So I think an Africa Day for us should be a day that we look at especially restoring this declining biodiversity and ecosystems which majority of Africans' livelihoods rely upon. It calls that we plant 1 billion trees for Africa and make Africa greener again, stronger again, more resilient, more successful, and of course more prosperous for everybody on planet Earth.